Welcome everybody back to the Here's the Thing podcast where we talk about anything and everything that we want to. My name is Cooper. This is my
Liam,
co-host Liam. How are you today, Liam?
I'm good.
How have you been since our last episode that we recorded?
Sick, unfortunately.
Sick?
Not bad though.
Me
like
too.
very mildly sick, but it's
This
annoying.
annoying woman that we know got us both sick.
Yeah.
And
We won't name drop her.
Yeah, we won't. But she's got a really big nose.
Huge nose.
Like
Like
Pinocchio
fucking.
shit.
I don't know how she sees.
Yeah.
You know, like when you're cross-eyed and you have double vision. That's her just from the nose alone. It's crazy. But I've been sick.
We'll make that a clip and we'll send it to her.
Yeah, done.
Yeah,
done.
but no. You've been sick for a while. I've only just started feeling a bit ill today, but
Yeah.
we're going to we're gonna thug it out.
Yeah.
We've got a bit of an audience today.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
we always have an audience being
tech guy.
We have
and last week
several more people today.
Well, only one
don't
extra
know.
person.
They don't
Oh,
know.
yeah. So we've got 10 people.
We've got actually 50. This is a stage, a set.
Yep.
Set design.
We're recording this live.
Yeah.
We should probably get started.
We should.
Yeah. So this week's episode, we're going to be talking about
Clair Obscur.
Yeah. How do we say? Is it Clair
Clair,
Obscur?
people say Clair Obscur, but French people say Clair Obscur.
Clair Obscur.
It's Clair Obscur.
Clair
Better.
Obscur. How about we just call it
Expedition
Expedition 33?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's
Extra 33.
It's a video game which came out very recently, just a month ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Turn-based action RPG. Would you classify it as?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. It's a very fun game, and we'll get into the thick of that.
I'm in the thick. Sorry.
We'll get into the thick of that very soon. Just before we do, anything about our weeks that we want to touch on? That we want to talk about? What did we do over the weekend?
We had a party again.
Did we?
Yeah.
Did we?
I don't want to say the name out loud, but the party that you left.
Were you there?
No, at the house. The house. I got
Yeah. We had a party.
Yeah.
It was a really good party.
Yes.
It was a really a heart. Oh, okay. It was a really It was a really good party.
Fun party.
It was a small party, small gathering. We met some really
nice
interesting people.
Interesting people.
We played Granny,
We did play.
and I smacked.
Yeah, you beat the fuck out of someone by accident.
I smacked a 17-year-old woman across the face,
Yep.
and then I kept going.
I think he liked it. My personal theory.
Multiple hits.
My personal theory is that he liked it.
And then I punched another woman in the
You
stomach.
did, yeah.
So hard that it broke the plastic sword that we were playing Granny with.
I did not abuse a woman that day. Only that day. No, any day.
If you don't know what Granny is, it's essentially you turn all the lights off and you get blindfolded and you have to walk around with a stick and you have to try and whack people.
Now, what happened with me was I was drinking, so I put the blindfold on and went out when it was my turn, and I had alcohol in my hand, like a beer. I think it was a cruiser. And I'm walking around like, fuck it, I can't see, and I'm just drinking, I'm just enjoying life. And then randomly people start throwing pillows at me. And so the first hit, like it like nudged a bit and it spilled on me. And I'm like, oh, that's fine. And I said, guys, don't throw, I have beer.
I wind it up
and
I fucking
pushed
it right into you.
And then the beer went fucking flying everywhere.
It was a cruiser. Stop
Cruiser.
trying to act tough.
You know what? I quit today.
It was a cruiser.
But, same shape, okay?
Yeah. So,
Anyway.
I mean, are they? Depends. Anyways, that was fun. And then we...
Similar to this.
We,
if you think about it.
What else did we do? We played... No.
I've been playing The Last of Us again.
No, I'm trying to think what else we played at the party. Played Cards Against Humanity.
Yeah, that was alright.
It was alright. I think we were too
No,
sober.
I'm a bit cut. Because
my card didn't get picked once.
My answers were the funniest, and I know it was because everyone laughed.
There was
one clicked it.
That you'll know which friend I'm talking about. I don't want to name and shame her, but she was reading out the prompt, and it was like, "What do you see a lot of in heaven?" And I purposely put dead parents.
Yeah. Well,
that's so funny.
Yeah, I guess, but my one was better.
What was yours?
Nazis? No, it was fuck. I don't remember. It'll come back to me.
I don't know. Anyways,
concentration camps. That's what it was. Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
That is funny.
Just a quick note: Tech Guy isn't here today. He's been replaced with an interim Tech Guy.
He's an intern.
His dad actually works in IT, so he should do a good job. Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. If you notice any like cuts or stuff like that, it's his fault.
Yeah. You're blowing your nose. That's
I
sniffing.
You know what? I will. We can cut this out if we need to, but...
And we're back. You just blew your nose.
I did blow my nose. I am sick. I don't know if I've said that before.
You just wanted to interrupt the fucking show to blow your
it's
fucking
not,
nose?
Well, okay, you want me to just start fucking snotting everywhere and everyone just has to look at that? Alright.
Alright, should we just get into it? What else are we missing? Oh, Monday, what are we doing? Monday was a public holiday. We did something on Monday.
Oh my... No! Monkey. We went to Comic-Con.
We went to Comic-Con! Oh my god! We went to Comic-Con on Sunday. Mm-hmm. We dressed up as the Vanderlyn gang.
Who were you?
I was Dutch.
Dutch Vanderlyn. I was Javier Escuela.
Yeah, we should have posted the group photo on our...
Yeah, we should have.
Here's the thing, official Instagram or something like that.
My costume I threw together within about 5 minutes.
That's right. You went both days.
Yeah.
I only went the Sunday.
The Sunday I was like hungover. I got picked up from the house, dropped off at my house. I went inside and I basically made the costume there, and then I dipped.
Yeah, it was fun though. I had a really good time at Comic-Con.
Yeah, I was just lucky I had that Spanish hat.
Yeah.
If I didn't have that, it wouldn't have
just been a normal
guy.
Yeah, who likes wearing.
But I had that hat, so it worked. But
yeah.
No, it was a good day. So many people came up and asked for
Yeah,
photos.
that was like crazy.
Yeah. So now when
this
gets famous, they're gonna be like, oh my god, we took a photo
with Here's the Thing before they were
famous.
Here's the thing about famous people.
Yeah. Do you remember that YouTube channel where it was like before they were famous?
Yeah, and it would like.
Are they still around?
I don't think so. I think they died.
They were nice. Really?
I remember reading somewhere that they died. Maybe I'm just completely wrong.
Well, before they died, they made things.
Yeah, that they were interesting videos.
Yeah. Rip.
Monday, we did something. Or was it? No, yeah, it was Monday.
What did we do?
We went out and we went up the mountain with the fog.
Yes.
And it looked...
Bro, that looked like such a hectic, like,
we saw this fog and it was amazing.
It was fucking insane.
Really,
it was
really
straight
cool.
out of Persona... Oh my god, speaking of Persona 4 Revival got announced.
Let's quickly touch on all of the game announcements that we think
I don't
worth
remember much. I honestly... Okay. James Bond game, did you see?
Yep, James Bond game looked relatively good.
Yeah, I mean, it's developers, but the Hitman developers.
Yeah, which is really good.
So, it should be okay.
The Marvel fighting game by Arc Studios, is that what they're called?
Yeah, I kind of glossed over that because I was like...
Well, that was meant to be the big reveal of
really
the PlayStation
Yeah, look,
showcase.
the Summer Games Fest and the State of Play, like, in my opinion, were
Summer
underwhelming.
Games Fest only had, what, Resident Evil 9?
Resident Evil 9, which is cool. Requiem, Resident Evil Requiem.
Yep, that new Silent Hill game looked decent.
Yeah, Silent Hill P or F? I don't know.
I genuinely really liked the look of that like pirate game, and it was like cartoony.
Yeah.
That one looked really interesting.
I know which one you're talking about.
Definitely probably give. I mean, I'll wait for reviews before I waste money on it.
Yeah. What's your like takeaway? What's your like your favorite game reveal from this whole weekend?
From all three of them.
Yeah.
I didn't really watch the Xbox One. I know Black Ops 7 got announced.
Yeah.
But I don't really care. Probably. Honestly, that pirate one. To be honest,
it does look.
I don't really.
It's the one where like the world is affected by what you're doing.
Yeah,
right? Yeah. That's cool. That should be.
And
fun.
it's like it kind of looks like origami, but mixed with like 3D rendering, like art style.
That will be fun.
It looks like a more like jokey Sea of Thieves kind of thing. So it looked cool.
Yeah. My takeaway, obviously, Persona 4 Revival.
You thought it was gonna be called
Rewind. This is because like Persona 3 is Reload, which is like the gun.
Yeah.
Persona 5 Royal is like the palace.
The palaces.
And Persona 4, it's about TVs. I was like, Rewind, obviously. But Revival also makes sense because when shows are like renewed, they get called Revival. And also it's always like typically a new cast. Yeah. So like, and all the characters have different voice actors now. So it makes sense.
No more Yuri.
Yeah. I mean, it sucks that it's probably a while away because like it looks very unfinished, but Kickback is fine. I can wait.
Was there anything Kingdom Hearts related?
No, unfortunately. I think there's a fucking pin in my shit. Sorry. Also Resonance: A Plague Tale Legacy. That I will play just because it's a Plague Tale. Plague Tale is one of the most underrated game series. I think no one talks about it enough, but those games are fucking amazing. You should play them.
You want me to play so many things.
I want him to play Life is Strange 2 and A Plague Tale. That's all I ask for. They're simple, easy games.
Ask me to play other things.
And also, not just that, every other game that I've recommended to you, you have liked. Not even like loved. God of War, you're just not tapped in yet. You need to maybe you need to mature a little bit, then you can go back to that game.
No,
right?
That game's so ass.
No,
I'm sorry.
that's
my biggest hot take of all time. God of War 2018 is boring.
God of War 2018 is one of the most perfect pieces of
that gameplay is just a snooze fest. Story's good. Gameplay snooze fest. It's the opposite of what people said about The Last of Us.
You probably just weren't playing it right. Like
What do you mean I wasn't playing it?
Bro,
Right?
it's
Okay, this is not the
fucking
time
amazing.
for this.
No,
This is not
no,
the time
I think
for
it's
this.
the fucking perfect time because
No, we need
you're
to
an
talk about
idiot.
Clair Obscur.
Yeah, we didn't talk.
Alright,
about
because I think that's probably gonna take up a good amount of time.
yeah, probably will.
Because we should do non-spoiler stuff first.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, we both talked about Clair Obscur before it came out. We were like, oh, this game looks good.
Mm.
And then I saw that it was gonna go on Game Pass, so I downloaded it the day it came out.
Yeah, and you played it.
I played it.
Pretty.
It took me
recently
about
after
like
came
what,
out.
2 weeks or something like that.
Really?
Something.
Mm.
And then
After you finished it, you wouldn't stop talking about it.
yeah.
You really liked it, and you told me to get it, and I did because I didn't want to get it through Game Pass because my PC is not as strong as yours.
Yeah.
So I just got it on my PS5, and I loved it too. Like
Mhm.
I'm not a big turn-based game kind of guy, but if you don't know, it's not like turn-based in the same way that Pokemon or Persona or a generic turn-based game is. It's got real-time like parrying and your skill checks on your basic attacks and all of that. Like really like top-notch turn-based gameplay. It's invigorating. It's like keeps you focused, and it's so satisfying. It like gives the same landing perfect parries on big counters. Oh, sorry, no, wait. Landing perfect parries on all of the attacks from like boss level enemies, where they do like 20 moves in one attack, and you have to be on like locked in timing, and you get every single one.
Yes,
It's such a good feeling.
It's
like,
weird because in some ways, like the combat system is harder than like Persona or like Pokemon or whatever, because it's based on like your own input parrying. Like when you get hit, it's like fucking like you get like
can't blame
you get
it on the
basically
game.
get killed, right?
Yeah.
Like the damage is way more brutal. Whereas, in like Persona and stuff, because you have no choice. I mean, you can block beforehand, like you can choose to do that, but you negate a turn. Like when you get hit, like the damage isn't as much.
Yeah.
But in the same way, it's easier with Clair Obscur because like you're in charge of the parrying. You could just never take a hit.
If you're
like
good
it's
enough.
really well balanced that way, where it can be way harder than these other turn-based games, or it can be way easier depending on what you.
how good you are, and obviously the difficulty.
Yeah.
And if you're someone who like is not good at video games for whatever reason, and you think this game is going to be too hard for you, it is worth playing in easy mode just for the story.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
Main highlight of the game for me is definitely the story.
Yeah, which was written by I think people who have never written on a game before. It was made by 30 people, like 30 people in total. Obviously they outsourced and stuff, but the core team
30 people.
was 30 people, and I think they were ex Ubisoft as well.
Really?
Yeah, and the soundtrack was composed by a SoundCloud.
The soundtrack is like
Oh, it's amazing.
amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
If
If the rumors about there being a movie,
I hope so.
if they're true, which I mean I don't see why they wouldn't.
Yeah.
It's a very like cinematic story.
And even the
They
graphics.
better just take the score,
soundtrack, yeah.
or at least hire the same guy.
Yeah.
to make it.
Even the visuals, like
Oh, yeah.
you could like it's because it's not photorealistic. It's like picturesque.
Yeah.
Picturesque.
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 Picturesque. Yeah.
Picturesque.
Like, oh, it looks so good. Like,
it's
a
a
few
beautiful
times. Yeah. 'Cause
Like
it's,
especially like we'll get into it later, but they do really interesting things that I don't think that we've ever seen video games do before with their cutscenes and
Oh yeah.
like
with
choices
the
they make with aspect ratio and color
Oh,
grading,
it's so
and
cool.
it's just they frame their cutscenes as if it is a movie, and
Yeah.
in like the most movie way possible I've ever seen a game do, and it's really just beautiful to look at.
Yeah.
My only critique of the whole game was literally just the lip syncing bugged out a couple times.
Where they
Which
were
was
moving their
annoying.
mouths.
No, not even so. The one where the lips weren't kind of synced up properly,
Yeah.
which I don't know if that was a bug or just they didn't do a great job with the lip syncing. And then I got the bug where the mouth wasn't moving in a very important cutscene.
I think I did too. I think I got the same scene.
Yeah, because I remember I was saying he's talking but his mouth's not moving. Is he? And you're like, no, it's a bug. I got the
Yeah.
mouth
Yeah.
syncing."
Yeah.
And I'm like,
I'm
damn,
pretty sure I
because
did.
that was a really good cutscene, but it didn't
It's-
ruin it or anything.
yeah.
It was fine.
Well, this is spoilers. So is this the one where?
No,
Oh, yeah?
No, yeah. When we get to spoilers, yeah, we're gonna do. Okay, this is what we're gonna do. This is my idea.
Uh-huh.
So we'll give out. That's just our general review. I want to go into and rank each character's gimmick from
Okay.
least enjoyed to most enjoyed.
Okay.
Then once we've done that, we'll get into spoilers.
Okay.
So we want to do character
Fuck, now I
ranking.
gotta think about this ranking.
This is just based off gimmick, like based, and by gimmick I mean no character's the same. They all have like a special thing to do with how they play.
Yeah, they all feel differently when you're playing them. Obviously, like
We've
the
got
same buttons and stuff.
six characters in total. We've got
Six.
Gustav, in order of unlocking, we've got Gustav,
Yep.
Lune, Mael, Sayel, Verso, Minoko.
Which is a relatively, for like a RPG,
A turn-based game.
turn-based RPG, it's a
party-based
relatively small
game. Party.
party.
Mm.
Like normal, like with Persona 5, for example, it gets up to like fucking 11 or 10.
That helps you, like the character development.
Yeah,
so
definitely. And it's
much.
a smaller game as well, smaller team, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
Obviously, I think they could probably, like in future, make it bigger,
Yeah.
but, you know.
But we'll get
Anyway,
into all
yeah,
of that
yeah.
in a bit.
Give
All
me
right,
your ranking.
I have mine pretty much set in stone. My least favorite play style, like gimmick, is Gustav, because his whole thing is just overcharge, which is every time you parry and every time you attack, you build up this meter, and the higher the meter, the more damage one specific attack does. So if you have a full meter, that special attack does a lot of damage. If you have half a meter, it does a good amount of damage. If you have no meter, it doesn't do that much damage. It's a very simple gimmick. It's the first character you unlock, so it makes sense that it's not an overly complicated like gimmick, because they want to ease you into the different like play styles of every character. Gustav's a very like frontman, like just your basic game player. Like he doesn't really have anything too crazy. With some of his later abilities that you can unlock, it does use the overcharge as well, but there's no way that you can like transfer your overcharge into AP or into health, or like it's really only just on those two abilities that it affects. I believe it's only two abilities. And then number 5, this is probably a bit controversial. I'm gonna put Mael. The whole stance thing for me, it was cool, don't get me wrong, and now that I'm thinking, like, we're talking pure gimmick, just the stances didn't like tickle my fancy all that much, just because it was sort of like, it felt like I had to micromanage how I was playing her, and I had to like plan, like with the other characters you do plan ahead, and I'll get into that when I touch on them, but with Mael it's like I really have to plan ahead like turn by turn based off the stances. Later, when you unlock specific abilities with her that aren't exactly to do with her stances, like she has an ability where she can make the opponent weak to fire damage, which synced up really well with one of my other characters, because their whole kit was based off building burn stacks, and then like the synergy was really great, and I loved Mael for that. When it came to just the gimmick alone, she's number 5. Everything else, she's higher. Like one of her weapons had an ability where every time I broke a shield, it became Mael's, and then that was just like game over if I was playing with Mael, because no one could do damage to me, because I just parry and then get shields, and it was a whole thing. But gimmick alone, just the stances, which by stances she has 3 stances. She's got defensive, offensive, and virtuose. Defensive is what it sounds like: take less damage but you do less damage. Offensive, take more damage but you do more damage. And then virtuose is just you do double your normal damage. Number 4, I'm gonna go with Verso. Verso is gonna be my 4th. His gimmick is kind of similar to Gustav's, but more. They work on it more. It's like Gustav, but done more complicated. He's got his perfection rank, which he has different tiers of perfection that he can reach by parrying and attacking, and then if he gets hit he loses it. And it's like ranks. You go D, C, B, A, S, and then depending on the letter rank, your abilities can do different things, either increase damage, or like one I really like was Perfect Break, where if you break with that ability it automatically puts you to S rank.
Yeah, that was my favorite one.
He says break, and then he like punches through reality and like bang. That's really cool. And he has this one ability that costs all your points, and it's you do it and then you have to not get hit before his next turn, and then he does 13 hits of extremely high light damage. And I would do literally with that, I could do like over 100,000 damage. But you'd have to be really good with the parries. All right, I'll speed up. After Verso, I'm gonna go Minoko. I liked Minoko's kit. I just think his gimmick, obviously with the bestial wheel, it spins every time you do a skill move, and then it gives you a different enhancement that enhances different abilities. That's the gimmick. When it comes to his skills, using Nevrons, transforming into like the enemies that you're fighting, he's like a shapeshifter. that's really cool.
Mm.
But I don't think that's his gimmick. You can disagree and rank him differently because of that. To me, his gimmick is the wheel and how the wheel works. But Minoko is really cool as a character. I like his voice really a lot. I didn't recognize his voice actor from anything else.
He sounded familiar,
He sounds
but
so
I don't
familiar.
recognize the voice
He
actor.
sounds so cool. Like
Yeah, he
he's
is
a really good voice actor. And then number 2, Lune. I really like her. What are they called? Stacks? No, not stacks. They're called like stars, essence,
I don't remember.
something like that.
Yeah.
She can have up to 4 of these different elemental essences, and
Yeah.
depending on which ones you have, they augment different abilities, make them stronger, give them different effects. Like one lets you attack twice, one makes your ability cost 0, and she has this one really strong ability where it attacks 8 times for every single enemy, and you need one of every single element to use it. And it just looks so cool. I like her animations a lot. Like her ability animations are so cool.
What's that one?
She reminds me of like Avatar.
She's got a very strong earth.
Yeah. Are you
thing
talking
that's
about
really
her gradient attack or the
No. It's
the one where she uses the pillars or the very like the 10
Shadowfall or something like that, where like she literally
Terraquake?
Terraquake. Yeah, that I
one's
fucking love that
cool.
one. The animations for every
character.
everything is
The
amazing.
gradient attacks.
Yeah,
the
they're sick.
animations are sick. Number 1, CL.
So
She has sun and moon abilities that give her different like effects based off that, and I just think it's really cool. Like her whole thing, she has like tarot cards that she crushes or she throws and then attacks through the card, and it does like an elemental dark attack or a light attack, and then using them in conjunction because she applies something called foretell to the enemies, and then depending on how much foretell they have, it makes her other abilities do different things, either higher crit chance or more damage, stuff like that. I just had a lot of fun with CL. I felt like her weapon skills that you could unlock through her really complemented her gimmick, and her skill moves as well complemented. I think that I just had so much fun with CL. She was my favorite character, hands down. But do you want to go through yours?
okay, I think I have it. It's okay. Number 6,
Bottom of the barrel.
bottom of the barrel. Which none of these characters are bad. Like none of them are badly played. It's just
No.
so much good
We
that you have to
enjoyed playing
choose.
all of
Yeah.
them.
Gustav. He just felt like the least. Like he was the one that you could play with the least, if you know what I mean. Like his gameplay wasn't as like moldable.
Especially as you started unlocking more
Yeah.
characters.
Yeah. Exactly.
He kind of just goes to the back line automatically.
Yeah. Number 5, I'm putting Lune because I don't know, her abilities and her thing I never really gelled with. I kind of just like, she was my fire person. I don't know why I did that, but like I put so much time to giving her fire abilities that I would just like use her whenever I knew that there was an enemy that was weak to fire. But to be fair, even though she said number 5, whenever there was an enemy weak to fire, it was like a one shot because she was like fucking cracked. Number 4, I'm putting Sayal. I really like her stuff, but the only reason she's at number 4 is because 3, 2, and 1 are just like, to me, they were my dream team.
Okay.
So these were the main 3 that I had in my party at all times, every single time. So number 3, we've got Verso. Verso, because he's like Gustav on crack. Like his abilities were just like fucking, because like all the other characters have like things that like are specialized for them, whereas Verso felt a lot more like Gustav, where it's like you can kind of just do whatever you want. Okay, the list got broken up by an intruder.
Yep, sorry about that quick break.
we're
We
back
had
now.
someone with 20 million chins call us, and we had
Yeah.
to just...
Not that that's
No,
a
we
bad
don't
thing.
think that's a bad thing. It's just an observation.
It's
Anyways, continue.
Yeah, it was just descriptive. Anyway, so Verso, he's at number 3. Number 3 is Verso, because he's hot, and I would fuck him, I think, and I'm not even gay. That's the thing. Sorry.
Would you let him fuck you?
Nah, I'd let him like speak softly into my ear.
He's got a nice voice.
Ben Starr. Oh my god, Final Fantasy. Alright, anyway, Verso is number 3 because his abilities are just fun. I had him as like my guy that would just like he'd parry everything and then just fuck you up. That was him. That was him for me. Number 2, Monoko, because is it Monoko or Monoko?
Minoko.
Monoko. Minoko, because okay. So when I first got to him, I had 45 skill points that I could put into every tree. I just fucking put every single one into strength. So this guy was so strong. And a couple of that, I just really like that he can turn into Nevrons. And really especially because a lot of those attacks are like really good. Like you can do like 50 hits in one. Plus,
and
double that with his damage. Yeah, exactly. And double that with his damage. It would just fuck everyone up.
He's got really good support abilities too.
Yeah, no. There was one where you buff everyone and also apply 2 shield or something like that. I use that all the time.
And he's got one where it gives everyone regen.
Yeah.
He's got one where it just gives like 3 random buffs.
Mm-hmm.
He's really good.
He and also when you get after you beat a certain boss, you get this Picto, which is like the abilities where you or like traits, I guess, where you can unlock the like the damage cap and you can do over 1 million damage. I put that straight on Minoko and I was just doing millions every day. Number 1 Mayal.
Very strong.
Number 1 Mayal.
That's so interesting to me.
I loved Mayal's combat. She was like she was just like so fun. And also I had all of my, so she was my trump card because I had her on a Picto where if she dies, she regens at full health, right? So what I would do is I would have her, Verso, and Monoko, and then I would wait for Verso and Monoko to die if the boss was really hard. Then I'd wait for Mayal to die, and then she would regen straight away, and then straight away after that I would revive my entire party.
Are you talking about her gradient attack? The one that revives people?
No.
She has an actual ability
that just revives everyone. Full health, yeah.
Oh.
It's called like Phoenix. No, not Phoenix Flame. It's something. But yeah, no. So if I had Mayal on my party, I would basically get 3 different tries at a boss in one go, because I would have 3. I'd have.
This is a repeat of episode 1.
Yeah.
Go. Okay, you had 3 goes.
3. I would have 3 goes.
Because you'd have your first go of the party, and when everyone dies, Mayal revives. You revive everyone. Yeah. And then
go when they die,
you get your reserve.
The expeditions.
The last stand of Expedition 33.
Yep. So that's my list.
Sweet. I think I can understand any order.
Yeah, because they're all good. They're all good.
Except Gustav 1. If you have Gustav in number 1 purely based off gimmick, you must be a very simple person.
Yeah, simple. Which
like the man with 20 million chins. He probably will put Gustav number 1.
Yeah, he'd be like, that was cool. And then
Alright, now, speaking of Gustav, should we get into the story of the game?
Yes.
Alright, so very basic framework, no spoilers. This is the last thing we're going to say before we get into spoiler territory.
Clair
Obscur. If you don't know anything about the game, essentially it takes place in a world where these people that live in, would you call it a city?
It's like a city slash town. It's
like
based on Paris.
Lumiere. They all live there, and for the past 67 years they've been victim to someone they refer to as the Paintress, who every year paints a big number in the sky, and everybody who is that age gamages, which is death. They like snap. It's literally a Thanos snap, but instead of dust, it's flowers. They turn into
flowers.
It's a really beautiful visual when it happens.
Yeah, it is really
the
cool.
first gamage you see at the end of just the first opening.
It
is really cool. And Gustav's just holding Sophie. And name's Sophie, right?
Yeah,
he's holding Sophie, and she's the last one to go, and she just dissipates.
Mm-hmm.
And it really sets up the Paintress really well.
Spoilers, by the way.
Of what? That Sophie dies.
Yeah.
It happened in the first 5 minutes.
Okay, that's fine. Anyway,
the whole point of the opening scene, Mayal comes up to you and says, "Are you scared to talk to her because you know she's gonna die?"
No, I didn't think that. No, because they set up that they had broken up and their relationship was on bad terms. So I just thought Gustav is scared because he doesn't he's ended off on a bad note. So when Sophie started gomaging, I was like, oh my god, that's so fucking cool that they said. I'm so sure that's what they wanted to do. But I'm so sure that's what they were trying to do.
The story trailers of the game set up what the gomage is.
Yeah, no. I knew what the gomage was. I just didn't know that Sophie was gonna die.
But did you not pick up on her age?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I know that she said that she was 33, but then I was like, isn't everyone else 33? So I thought so I thought that she was gonna be on the expedition as well.
Yeah, because it's the people.
And then when she gomaged,
actually, it's the people year younger.
I wasn't sure about the rules yet.
And essentially, in this world, there's these expeditions where every year they send a group of people to the continent, which is where the world is, where the paintress lives,
Mhm.
and they have to try and fight through and kill the paintress and stop the Gamage from happening ever again. And every year it's failed, and you're playing as the
Expedition
33rd Expedition. That is your spoiler-free setup of the story.
Mostly spoiler free.
Mostly. We're gonna get into
The
spoilers
spoilers now.
beat by beat.
Mhm.
Holy shit, the second they touch land on the continent,
Yeah, they get fucked up.
they get fucked up.
They get the
Like,
shit
they
off.
just get... Everyone is murdered.
Renoir.
There's probably like,
Bro, that
what,
fucking
10 people in that,
does
that
is
group?
like fucking do this, and then his head just gets decapitated.
By Andy Serkis's character.
Yeah, which
Renoir is his
fucking
name.
hectic.
Because there's like
Hectic performance.
at least 10 people in that party, and then
Yeah,
you
there was
got
a whole
Sai-
ship of people.
Sayal, Lune, Gustav, and Maya. So 6 people die.
Yeah,
Just get murked.
Mhm.
And you're under the impression that everyone else has died as well. And then you play as Gustav and you see all the previous expedition bodies, like
yeah. It
hundreds
shows
of
you that
bodies.
like all of these expeditions haven't even made it past like
past
the first
this
fucking.
part. They've
Yeah.
just died. And he sits down and he summons his gun and he puts it to his head. He's going to kill himself. And then Lune sits next to
Because
him.
he also thinks that Mael is dead as well.
Yeah, he
so
thinks
like.
everyone's dead. And then Lune sits next to him. I really like that. She goes, "You'll kill us both." Because it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the
Because
bullet's going to go
it'll
through his
go to her.
head.
Yeah, yeah.
That
I
part
love
was
Lune.
touching.
Lune might be my second favorite character in the game.
Lune is just amazing.
He's just so mature.
Shoot, can you guys like keep it
Yeah,
down?
sorry, our audience is getting a bit rowdy.
You're gonna disturb the people listening at home.
Yeah, exactly.
You're sorry. You better be sorry.
Yeah, he's on his knees like a good boy. Now they're laughing again.
Did you see what he did?
Yeah, he did. He did do that.
He
He
did-
did what you did the other day. Yeah,
What?
that, he just did that. He actually did. That's not a lie.
Well, I have to do one every episode. That was
Yeah.
one for this
Yeah.
episode. Anyway,
yeah, yeah.
then we'll skip through when you first go to the campsite.
Yeah,
you say,
fuck
fuck the mission.
Yeah, yeah. That okay. So that scene was when I like proper got invested in the game because I was like, that acting is really good,
That cutscene when I saw it on
The writing
TikTok was
was
what made
perfect.
me want to play the game.
bro. It was like so fucking like.
I
'cause-
didn't take you for a coward.
yeah, everything was like I loved the game up until that point, but after that scene, I was like, okay, this is
Yeah.
like I need to lock
Peak
in on this
writing,
game
peak acting.
because it was fucking the writing
By
was
the
so
way, Gustav is played by Charlie Cox, like
Yeah.
Daredevil.
good. Yeah,
fucking
he's very
phenomenal
good. I haven't
actor.
seen Daredevil, but he's
Not,
a good actor.
I'd say like all the acting in the game is phenomenal. Like
Yeah,
really, really good.
I don't
voice
think there's a bad
performances.
actor.
Not at all.
Flory.
I think sometimes the mix was a bit weird, especially on Mael. Her voice felt really quiet compared to the environment she was in.
I guess, but
It's
like,
like
she's
it-
also just a very like quiet girl.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to say is it sounded like voice lines. It didn't sound like she was speaking in this world, whereas
Maybe.
everyone else, it sounded like they were in the world. And I'm not saying that all the time. I'm saying I picked up on that a couple times,
Maybe I don't know. I don't remember.
which
thinking
might
that.
just be a a side effect of her being such a soft-spoken
Yeah,
person.
probably.
It's kind of hard to mix it into
True.
that. Well then, yeah, you go to the manor, and you meet the curator
and Mael.
and
you find
Mael, and then Gestural Village, and you get Sayal.
her. Yeah, like the whole like
Is it Sayal or Ciel?
Sael.
Sayal, yeah.
I just like the basically like it's just a big long expedition. Like
Yeah.
you're traveling, you're slowly making
It's
your way
just a walk.
through the map, and like you discover new. You can obviously do side like
This is all Act
stuff.
1, by the way.
yeah. You could just like go around to different places. I just love like it's like freedom, but not like too much freedom. You know, you're confined,
Yeah,
but you're not too confined.
because it's like you'll get fucked up if you go.
Yeah,
where
yeah, you
you're
will.
not
It will
meant to
tell
go.
you it's like danger, and then you
And
fucking
you will
die in one
literally,
shot.
unless you're him
Yeah,
on your parry timing, and even then, it's still going to take you so long
yeah,
to kill those enemies, even if you're getting perfect parries every single time, because your damage just isn't high enough.
yeah. I
It's not worth it.
just quickly on Gustav, I like that he's not like, he doesn't even, like his love for Mael is more than
His devotion to the mission.
the devotion to the mission, which is a nice mirror with Verso, because his love for Mael trumps his need to live in the painting. Like they're similar
You just
characters in
jumped
that way.
to the very end of the story.
Well, yeah, but it's spoilers now, so
Yeah,
we
but I
just
thought
talk
we were
about it.
cohesively
We're not
going
gonna
step by step.
We're not gonna summarize.
No,
the story.
but so we can hit the beats. All right, let's speed run then.
Speedrun.
End of Act 1.
Gustav
dies.
Yeah, gets fucking
This man who's been presented as the main character of the game
shanked by Renoir.
gets fucking
Unfortunately.
obliterated, and I like that he still stands with his sword ready to fight
Yeah,
after
yeah,
he's
yeah.
fucking like
And then he like
bleeding
looks back at
dying.
Mael and he's like, for those who come after, which is what he says
Yeah.
every time he writes in his journal.
So fire, and
fucking
he
sick.
gets ready to attack, and he just dies.
Mm-hmm.
Renoir goes to kill Mael,
Mm-hmm.
bang!
Verso.
Verso is
With the
introduced.
sickest fuck. He does like a backwards parry. Okay, yeah.
With his little dagger.
Yeah,
He's so cool.
Verso
Renoir is such a good villain.
Renoir's good too.
Andy
Yeah.
Serkis does a great job.
And like, if you go back and listen to that exchange after beating the game, everything Renoir says to him like makes
Makes
sense.
perfect sense. Yeah, it
'Cause
would.
he's like, I hope you know what you're doing, or something. I don't know.
And
It's
he
good.
goes to kill Mael,
Yes.
knowing that is his daughter.
Elisa, yeah.
Yeah, and that's the first time you see Alicia, or the painted version.
Alicia in the painting, like the one that's always with the painted Renoir. Who is she? Like, what's she doing?
She is a painted version of Alicia. I
Yeah.
think she was painted by. Would it have been? No, it wouldn't have been the paintress.
Maybe
Or can the painted version of Renoir also paint, and he created her?
maybe the curator
Painted her to
Mael.
to try and stop the paintress from being able to escape the illusion. Because she's like, this is the real.
Possibly. Yeah,
And that's
I
why
never.
Renoir makes her wear the mask.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I never actually thought about what she was doing there.
And that's the first time that the aspect ratio changes. It goes black and white.
Yeah.
And it goes into like a little square.
It's so sick.
It's really cinematic. Oh, it's so cool.
It's really cool.
It's really, really cool. And then Act 2, end of Act 2, you fight the paintress. And what's revealed right before epilogue? Is there anything specific? Oh, they go back to Lumiere. And then he's reading the letter from painted Alicia.
Yeah.
That explains that they were just created because of the grief the paintress felt for losing her family, and the paintress was actually the one protecting them from the Gamage.
Yeah, the numbers is
and
actually a
telling them
countdown.
A countdown from how long they have left
She can
to
withhold
stop
before.
Renoir,
Yeah, because the Gommage is actually the curator or the real Renoir
the real villain of the story,
killing,
which is the
taking away
curator
people.
who you meet very early in the game.
Yeah, he's with you pretty much
Yeah.
the whole thing.
And then Mael says early on, like, she feels like familiar.
Yeah.
to him,
You can tell that he has importance. Like,
Yeah,
you just
from
don't know
the
what.
start. Alrighty, we had to take a quick break.
Yeah,
As we said earlier, the 20 million chins, he's here now.
Yeah, he's here.
He's
Okay.
part of the audience,
He's
and
getting upset. He's gonna run at us. No,
No!
don't do that.
we're
Sorry, go.
amidst spoiler conversation, which he's gonna.
He
get.
hasn't played the game.
He hasn't. So,
But
if
fuck
you,
him.
If you hear someone go, "Oh my god,"
yeah.
that's
him.
what that is.
That's it.
So we were talking about Renoir, the curator.
Yeah.
All right, seriously,
Guys,
you guys
pipe
need to
down.
get this under
He's
control.
getting a bit rowdy, alright?
My kittens here, they need to
Yeah.
relax.
Mm.
All right.
Our
Anyways,
little rascals.
what I was gonna bring up is I wonder if I go back and I look at that fight with the curator in the manor, if any of his moves are like
Probably.
reminiscent
I haven't
of,
seen. I
of
haven't
Renoir's chroma.
Probably. But I haven't
Probably.
noticed.
That was a very easy fight though.
Yeah.
End of Act 2, you find out. Anyways, let's just jump into the main thick of it, which
thick of it.
you find out at the very end of Act 2 that essentially everything that's been happening in the whole game
It's a painting.
is a painting. It's not
It's
real.
just fucking.
It's not real. It's real, but it's not. Like, it's not
Yeah.
a real world. You
You discover that the real world is actually
is
like
Earth,
our world.
and
And this Lumiere.
but in their version of this world, Lumiere is just in France. Eiffel Tower is outside the window,
Yeah.
and you discover that there are people called painters who have the ability to, almost like gods, create these worlds. And everything you've been doing so far has taken place in one of these worlds.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not just like a random world.
Yeah.
You find out that Mael is actually
A real human.
a real human named Alicia,
Yeah.
who is the daughter of the paintress.
Yeah.
And the paintress is just a grieving mother.
What's
who
her
is
name? Dea? Is it Dea?
Elaine.
Elaine. Yeah. Sorry, I'm thinking of Claire.
Claire is the older sister.
Yeah, older sister. Yeah.
Paintress is actually a grieving mother
Mhm.
of her son, who's
Verso.
Verso.
Yeah.
So, to sum things up, you find out before the end of Act 2 that there was a fire, and that's how Alicia got burned. Verso says, Renoir is my father, Alicia is my sister. There was a fire, she was burned. Then you find out, in the real world, Verso died
Dies in the fire.
in this fire. And that's why this family is grieving so hard, because they lost their son.
Mm-hmm.
And the world that you're in, the painting you're in, was Verso's. It was his painting. It's the only piece left of him. And the grieving mother went in to, I guess, hold on to that last piece of him and live in the painting because Verso exists in the painting.
Yeah.
The Verso in the game that you've been with for all of Act 2, be quiet. For all of Act 2, if you need to go out, you can go out.
He's crying about the tragedy of Verso.
For all of Act 2, that the Verso you've been with is just a, not fake, but he's created. He's not
painted
the real.
He's painted
Verso.
He's painted by the paintress.
Painted by the paintress.
Yeah.
Just like the Nevrons are created by the paintress.
Yeah.
So was Verso. Created
But-
through her memories of him.
Yeah.
Through his pure essence.
Yeah. And
So
so
in-
is Renoir.
Yeah.
And
So is Renoir.
Yeah.
And Alicia.
but I like that
and
Verso, even though he was painted by the paintress to be on her side, he still
Because
goes
he has
against her
the
because he's still got
character
the
of
answer.
Verso.
Yeah.
Because in
'Cause he
all
just knows
like
it's wrong.
for all intensive purposes, he is Verso.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
He is Verso.
Yeah.
He's like a reanimated version of Verso that can only exist inside this plane.
Yeah.
And he's been alive for 100 years at this point.
I kind of like that. I've only just thought of this now. I don't know if it does have a correlation, but when Monoko's like son thingy little dies, and then he's like, I can bring him back, and then
Just
he's like,
won't
it
be
will
the
be
same?
him, but we can bring him back, but he won't be the same. That's kind of like
That's, yeah.
similar to
Because
Verso.
Monoko knows
Yeah,
that
Monoko knows that.
Verso is the paintress's
Mm.
son and Renoir's son and
Yeah.
what Renoir is. But then I guess the next big like thing to touch on would be the ending.
Yeah.
So you go through Act 3 as Mael and you bring everyone back and you get ready to fight the real villain of the story, which is Renoir.
Yeah.
Or the curator. The curator reveals
Well, would you
himself
call him
to
a
be Renoir.
villain?
No. Okay, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
But from the point of view of the characters you're playing,
Yeah, he's
he
the
is,
final boss.
he's the antagonist.
Yeah.
At the start of Act 3 is not. Mael's like, no. He'll help us.
Yeah.
Then you talk to him, and he just has the most, like, logical reasoning.
Yeah.
Like, he is right.
Everything he says.
Everything he says makes sense. He is looking out for his family. He is trying his hardest to be a good father and
Yeah.
pull his family out of this vacuum of grief.
Mhm. But you know what the thing is, even though when I was playing it, everything he was saying made sense. Like I understood why he was wanting to do what he did. But even then, I was like, no, I don't want to do that because I like everyone in this world. I love all of these characters. I
So
don't want
you were
them to
kind
go.
of feeling like Mael.
Yeah, I was like, no, which I think is purposeful because like,
Yeah.
I'm like, no, fuck you. I've been in this world for how many hours? I'm not gonna just like put that all away now.
Yeah. Just like that.
Which is
so
me
you
at
want
Mael
to
as
fight
well.
for it.
Because Mael feels like she has lived 15 years in this world.
Yeah,
she knows
16.
like 16. Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone that she knows is from this Lumiere. Like I was feeling the same way as her, which I think is like, their writing is so
It's
good.
done on
Yeah,
purpose.
they really build your connection to the characters in the world so well.
That Renoir fight was difficult.
Yeah.
I found the Paintress fight more difficult.
No, I found Renoir way more difficult in my opinion.
Well, Paintress took me hours.
Well,
Renoir
I
took
like
me
that the
3
Paintress
tries.
comes in and helps you in the Renoir
Yeah.
fight. That was fucking
She
sick.
she deal. I like that the Axons are representations of Elaine and Verso.
Yeah.
The she who plays with wonder and he who hides the
Mhm.
truth behind lies.
Mm-hmm.
Which, when you hear that, sounds like, oh, that's a bad thing. But then when you figure out that it's meant to be the pure essence of Verso,
Yeah.
and then with the Verso that you know, the whole game he's been lying to you because he's been trying to, I guess, protect you from the truth. And also he has his ulterior motives, but he's trying to hide his true pain that he feels for being alive but not wanting to be alive.
Mm.
Because he has all of Verso's memories. He feels the grief that they all feel over Verso. He feels it for himself.
Yeah.
Which-
Because he knows that he's not alive.
He's a
just-
coping mechanism.
Yeah,
he
he
knows
is.
that, which is like, that's got to be so tough.
Weird.
And you beat Renoir,
Mhm.
and then him and Mael have that conversation where she goes, "You can trust me, I promise." And he goes, "I don't know if I can." And she goes, "You can." And he's like, "Okay." And she's like, "I'm not gonna be here forever, just a little longer," which is a clear lie.
Yeah.
You can kind of hear it in her voice, and they say Renoir knows that she's lying, but he's sick of fighting. Like,
Yeah, he gives up.
He has to because he doesn't know what to do anymore.
Yeah.
He's got another daughter that he has to take care of.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and then so he lets her stay, and then the portal that he opens to showcase. No, a portal opens on its own. How does the portal open? Was it already there? Was it the one he opened? He opened it
to show
the
Elaine.
after effect of Elaine being stuck in the canvas for so long, and
But
she's
then when he
basically
left,
cursed with this sickness.
yeah, their
where
eyes become
her
like
eyes
ink.
become ink.
Yeah,
It's a really cool visual, and she's essentially dying.
yeah,
But because she left the canvas at the exact moment to not die,
Yeah.
but she's really close to death.
Mhm.
And then Verso sees what's in the portal, which is the pure essence
of
of
his soul.
his soul, the last piece of his soul as a child sitting
Painting.
there painting. And he runs through and is able to survive in there, and he goes up to the boy. And then a little bit of backstory, he obviously beat the game before I did. He played it before I did. And then he told me, I was like, oh, is the ending good or bad? He's like, there's two endings. I'm like, oh, he's like, yeah, you get to pick like what you want the
What
game
you want
to
the
be
game
about.
to mean.
What you want it to mean to you.
Yeah,
So I knew that there was going to be a choice, and that was going to be the ending.
yeah,
So I went up to speak to the boy, and I saw two choices. It's time to stop painting, leave. I immediately thought, this is the ending. What I pick here is, I sat there for like 10 minutes deliberating, what do I do, what do I do? I texted him like a whole spiel about how I thought that the painting should be stopped, but now that I see it's just this innocent little boy trying to keep his soul alive, like, I don't want to stop it anymore, and da-da-da-da. And then I clicked leave, and I'm I can't. I have to talk to him. So I talked to him, and then it gives you some context. You know, Verso says hi. He's like, "You're tired, aren't you?" And the boy like nods his head. I'm tired. Da da da. Whatever. And then Mayel comes in, and Verso's like, "We need to stop him from painting." And she's like, "No, you don't get to choose the rest of these people's lives. It's not up to you." And then they draw their swords, and the final choice is fight as Verso or fight as Mayel. Which that's such a good
It is really cool.
That's a cool way
The
to
two
do it.
siblings
with different
Very
ideas
cool
of
way to
what
do it.
they want.
And then we both picked the same ending.
Yeah, which is fight as Verso.
Fight as Verso, because that is like the better ending.
Yeah, it is.
It's just the better
So
ending.
the themes of the game, like the whole game is about grief.
The cycle of grief, how
Yeah.
grief destroys you.
The conceit of the game is that they're going on expeditions to stop people from dying. So you know that this world, like, grief is pretty much all they know. Because every year, how many people die?
Or they love die.
Gustav's
know is
death,
death.
like, yeah. The whole game is about how people handle their grief. They're trying to stop these people from dying.
Yeah.
And then at the end, you have to choose that you have to just accept the death. So, you know, you can heal.
Because they say, like, throughout the expedition, when you speak to those, the white Nevrons and also the shadow people, which by the end you find that the shadow boy is Verso, at least you know that. And he says, like, she was happy once, and this grief, her grief turned her into this.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like, it makes a very clear point of trying to show that reveling in your grief and pushing it off and trying to avoid it is only going to cause problems.
Yeah.
And my reasoning for Verso being the ending I wanted to pick was a lot of like that, but also, and we spoke about this earlier, like I just had the very simple realization that this whole game is about Verso. This whole this canvas is his.
Yeah.
The reason they're fighting is over him. Everything is to do with Verso. And you have Verso in front of you telling you, I want this to stop. The character that this whole story revolves around is saying this shouldn't be happening.
Yeah.
So who are you not to listen to him?
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So fight as Verso, bang, you kill Mayel, but she doesn't die. She just
you
gets
send her back
taken
to
out of the canvas, back to the real world.
back
and
from the
then-
painting.
And then you go up to the boy and you hold his hand and you guys walk off together. I also saw it as like Verso's soul, like in terms of like the afterlife or whatever. He can't truly rest because he's stuck in this painting.
Well, yeah, there's a piece of him. So yeah, when they walk away and they slowly
gamage, it's like he's
Also,
finally free.
your party members gamage as well. That's
Yeah.
that's the thing about
That's
both
the
endings.
downfall.
You none of them are like straight out happy. Either, you know, Mayel will eventually die, but she gets to stay in this make believe world and basically be a god, but she will never face her grief, and her family basically falls apart. Or you can literally kill everyone in Lumiere, basically let the entire world die. So that
Every
means all your party
single
members,
world.
everyone that you've met, in the whole game, dies, but Mayal gets to live. She lives in the real world and accepts her grief over Verso and starts to actually like properly heal rather than just finding a vice.
Verso
her
says
family comes back
himself
together.
to her, he's like, you're going to be a great paintress.
Yeah.
If you ever feel like living, just go into a different canvas and then like escape. I mean, I guess there is nothing stopping her from just painting Verso again.
Yeah,
but I think the ending does try to set up that she's not going to do that.
Yeah, she's letting Verso go.
Yeah.
Which is important.
I like that the Verso ending, like the final shot, is a gamage. It's a gamage of all your party members that you've been with. You know, you got Gustav, all of them. Eskia, Monoko, they're all there gamaging away.
Yeah.
Mayal's holding Alicia, I guess, at this point, because it's in the real world, holding her toys. It's really cool.
And like she's got the scars on her face. I like that Mayal in Lumiere, her face is not scarred, which is like, and whereas in her body in the real world is, and it's like they in this painting world, she's hiding away all of the trauma that she has in favor of this.
Well, to be fair, it was the paintress who made her look like that.
Exactly, and she's trying to stop her grief as well.
Yeah.
So like this whole world is just like
an escape.
It's
literally, it's a coping mechanism.
Yeah,
like
it
I
is.
said earlier.
Yeah.
It's fantasy. It's
just desperately holding
not
on to
real.
this person that you can't accept is gone.
Yeah.
And
to the point where they created him again.
Yeah. But even he, because which
knows.
shows his virtue as a person, even the real one, even he doesn't want this.
He doesn't.
Because the ending where you do fight as Mayal and you kill Verso, like it's kind of creepy how he's like, I don't want this. Please, I don't want
that
this.
shit was so because I watched it. On YouTube afterwards, I was
same.
like, Ben Starr's acting in that scene. He just
was
keeps
begging.
saying, he says, please,
He's
stop
not
you
even
from
listening.
painting. I'm begging you.
Yeah.
She's like, don't say that. Don't say that.
He's
What
not
are you
even
saying?
listening
He's
to
like,
what she's saying.
He keeps just going, I don't want this. I don't
I don't
want
want
this.
I don't
He's
want
like
this.
trapped in this cycle.
And now Mayal has complete control, and she
is literally
revives
God.
everyone.
She is the god of this world now. And they try and set it up like everyone's happy, you know. You see your party members smiling. Gustav's alive.
They have no
Sophie's
free will,
alive.
though.
They don't. Verso walks onto the stage.
Yeah.
In front of the piano, everything goes black and white.
Yeah.
And he just stands there.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't want to play. And then he turns and he looks into the crowd, and then it flashes to Mayal
Mayal
with
in
the
the real
ink in
world.
her eyes.
Yeah.
Stuck in the canvas, stuck the same way her mother was.
Yeah. And then he starts playing. Yeah.
Like, they're both good endings.
Really good endings.
Like, I don't see why you'd want to fight as Mayal and keep the painting alive, because of it is some subjective nature with my like beliefs in other things and what I think is important in life, but I can see how somebody who might have been through similar experiences as Mayal could sit there and them too use this game as a way to escape their own grief.
Yeah, I guess you could say that
like if you choose to fight as Mayal, you're acknowledging that like the people in the canvas technically aren't real.
Alright, sorry about that. We have a friend who's an uncontrollable laugher.
Yeah.
You were about to make a point.
Yeah, I guess the way you could see people choosing this fight as Mayal ending is that like even though the canvas isn't real, like the people in Lumiere are real because they've lived their lives, and so to just like throw them all away for one family is selfish. I guess you could see it that way.
Yeah, they're not real.
But they're not real at the end of the day.
They're really not real at the end of the day.
They're all just ways to help Mayal cope with what she has to go through.
Like, at the point of them existing, they're not even like Verso's creations anymore. That's this world that's just the paintresses came in to live in Verso's world, and then Renoir follows, and he just fucks up the world.
Yeah.
And then they're fighting, and it's just like, these people, their whole life...
What do they call it? The shattering? Where that fucked everything up?
The fracture.
The fracture, yeah. That's why everything's split. They used to be all
yeah.
joined because it was almost painting, but then,
Really cool. I was going to make a point about... I was going to say something. Thematically, like, I'm the kind of guy where I always like to say, I like fucked up endings. I like endings where it's just like gut-wrenching, like, the whole thing feels like it's all a waste of time. Like, this shouldn't have, like, you know what I mean? What I'm trying to get at?
I mean, I don't like it when it's a waste of time.
No, a waste of time was the wrong word. I feel like the idea of even after all of it, she gets stuck in the same trap as her mother is a good.
But
Like Verso reflects his father, Mael reflects her mother, and it could end either way. And I like that. Like for example, if they do end up making the movie, regardless of which ending they pick to adapt, obviously I'd prefer it's the Verso one.
I think it will be.
But I'm not gonna sit there and go, like, why'd they pick the
I
Mael
wouldn't be
one?
mad either way because
They
they
both-
both work
they
as
work
endings.
really
Like
well.
I, honestly, the final shot of the Mayal ending is
It's
kind of
better.
I like better because it's Verso. He's about to play the
And then
piano,
it just
and then it cuts to black, and it
to
just
her
plays the
eyes.
menu music. Like it's a full circle. You know, you start off the game black screen menu music, end the game menu music. It's
Yeah.
like almost like foreshadowing. It's not, but like it almost feels like that.
It's just so neat. Both of it's so
Yeah.
such a tight little box like,
Yeah.
of narrative.
Like
that's
this
just
game is like a
amazing.
fucking miracle the way it like works so
Yeah.
well for
It-
their first game.
There's nothing in the story that I think like
Yeah.
is unnecessary. And it's like even when they reveal everything to you,
It's
it
just, you know, they
doesn't
don't
feel like
explain
an
everything.
expedition dump.
Yeah, expedition.
It's like
expedition dump.
exposition. The exposition 33.
Yeah, well, I mean, no, but they don't explain everything. Like the thing with the riders, like,
Writers
we don't
that
know who
we've
those are.
we've both spoken about.
Yeah.
All right, we touched on the endings.
Mm-hmm.
Let's speak on future of this franchise. What do we want from it?
If it is gonna be a franchise, I hope so. I mean, I've seen from Ben Starr saying that Clair Obscur is like the parent title, and Expedition 33 is just what this story is about. Which I mean, I would only assume means that they would want to do more Clair Obscur games. Which in that case,
What does Clair Obscur mean?
it's light and dark.
Light and dark.
In French, I think. But I would like just me personally. I would want to see them in another game explore. So we've done the painters, or at least one aspect of the painters, the Sandra family. Why don't you do a game about the writers? And instead
Which
of
they
it being
talk
like
about
painting,
in-
it's like maybe they write books and then you can go into the books. You
Yeah.
know, like because I like that. Okay, this game comes out, and everyone just thinks, oh, you're in this weird fantasy world. And then they reveal, no, the real world exists. It's just in this world, there's like things where you can go into them, right? So now take the second game, Clair Obscur, whatever it is, build on the world. You can start doing the world building outside of just this painting, you know? You can have multiple books or multiple paintings or whatever. Make it connect in a way where it's still an anthology, but it's not.
So they don't have
Completely
to pick
separate.
a canon ending for the first
Yeah,
game.
I don't think they need to. I think this one
It
could
could
just
be
be
separate.
Clair Obscur. This first one could just be about the Desandra family, and the next one will be like not thematically, but like consistent with like
Spiritual
yeah.
successor.
like have it be different enough that it feels fresh, but have it explore new ideas.
Yeah.
But
And
also build on
still
the
be
first one.
tied enough to the first game
Yeah.
in terms of like the world building that
Yeah, of course.
justifies
Yeah.
being a Clair Obscur game.
Yeah.
Which I think is very like the writers is clearly the very most
It's a
obvious
feasible
thing
next step.
to do.
Yeah.
We were jamming a little bit earlier about what other kind of people could exist in this world. We had like the composers,
Yeah,
could be,
yeah,
like,
you could
music
because if it's like
to do with it's
music.
very creative art wise. I can't.
Yeah.
I don't see them doing like the
the
photographers,
writers, the composers, the
the painters.
What other things can you do?
I feel like that's well. You got music, writing, and art, right? What
Yeah.
else is there? There's the actors.
The actors.
What if there's like gods of their universe and they're like the directors?
Yeah. The
Who
directors.
knows? We're not the writers of
Yeah,
this
we are
game,
not we're not the
but
writers.
feel free to hit us
hire
up.
us. Yeah.
We could probably cook something up.
I mean I gave you a story idea about a potential writers.
Yeah,
game.
going into the different books. And,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the one where. Do you want to give your
I
idea?
mean, it's not like gonna happen, but I was just saying like because I was just spitballing on like what they could do with these writers thing, and also world building as well, because you know now we know it's established that these worlds are like single things of like either a painting or a book,
Existence,
right?
yeah.
So you could actually start the second game off in the real world, you know, and then you could the like gameplay is you're going into these different books that have been written by the writers, and so every book is a different like level or different. It's similar to the way it's like you got the world map, and then you go into the world area.
yeah.
But instead of the world map, you're in the real world, and you just go to the different books, right? And maybe you're looking for someone like a family member or whatever.
Go on,
So
Missy.
you can still touch on a core theme. Like obviously the core theme of Expedition 33 is grief.
Yeah.
I don't know what they could do next, but
Well, if someone's missing, obviously the obvious would be like unable to let go, but
Yeah,
also that's kind
that's
of
also
similar.
similar.
To grief. So I'm trying to think if someone is
Like
missing.
love, revenge. I don't know. You
What
can do
if,
anything.
What if they did do revenge? It's
They
like
could.
you're going through these books to
To
find
find
this.
someone?
This person's actually hiding from you.
And I had an idea. After you left, I
And
had
then
an idea.
Joel shows up.
Yeah. No,
'Cause
no.
you're right.
Where the party members that. So okay. So this is what I was thinking. So the different books, right? So you're the author of these books, okay? So you know everything about these worlds, and every book, like it highlights a different aspect about this character.
Mm.
So it's like maybe the core theme isn't. Maybe it doesn't have like a core like thing, but you're
It's
just
an
highlighting, you're
exploration
unraveling
of
this character,
one
right?
like a
And your
character
party
study.
members are the characters that you've written in the story that highlight a different aspect of this character. So like you're
Like you've got the really angry one.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
got
yeah.
your support.
yeah,
who's like the
and
loving
every
side.
book is you having
That's
to
a
deal with
good
that.
idea. That's
Yeah, I
a
mean,
really good
it probably
idea.
won't happen, but like that was just that. If I had to do a Clair Obscur, fucking
Hey, off the dome,
telenovela,
that was pretty good.
Yeah.
I think that's a good way to
hire me,
break down a
please.
character.
Yeah.
And
But,
then just get who would we get to voice him?
I would get personally
if it was a guy character, I would want
Timothy Chalamet.
Troy Baker,
Yeah,
good
maybe
voice actor, and girl
Matt
would go
Mercer.
Laura Bailey. Oh, Matt Mercer would
Matt
be
Mercer
really
would be
good.
really good.
Laura Bailey for the woman.
Yeah, who would you want to play the characters for the potential movie that they're doing?
Okay. Gustav, Charlie Cox,
obviously.
Renoir, Andy Serkis.
Yeah.
Those two are easy because they're the voice actors, whatever. Mayel gives me like she's meant to be
Sadie
younger.
Sink?
Sadie Sink could work. What about that girl from Clown in a Cornfield? She just dyes her hair.
Yes. What's her name?
I can't. Katie Douglas, I think.
Yeah, Katie Douglas.
Katie
Yeah,
Douglas?
Yeah. Well, she could. Yeah, definitely. She got the height.
Lune. Lune's meant to be Asian, right?
Yeah, obviously.
Okay, I didn't want to come across as racist. So I'm trying to think who could do a good Lune just based off looks.
I don't know enough actors to be
I
able to
don't
do
know
this.
enough. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I am sure that
who
they will
else?
pick the nice.
Minoko. Just whoever voices Minoko, put him in a suit.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then
yeah.
have him do that.
That's easy. Verso, Keanu Reeves maybe, but he's
But
not
he's
old
like
enough. He's too old.
too old. You need like a bit of a younger guy, but he needs but he needs to still be like late 30s. Like he needs to have
And he has
that
to
like
sound.
crisp to him.
Yeah, I mean honestly, you could just have him be Ben Starr, but he doesn't look enough like Verso.
What about the guy who plays Rory in Doctor Who?
I don't know who that is. I was gonna say like Kit Harington.
That's a good. No, Kit Harington. Jon Snow.
Yeah, Jon
Kit
Snow.
Harington's a good.
Kit Harington.
That's
could
a
be-
good cast.
could be Verso.
And
Because
then
he's got like the hair, he's got the beard, he's got the voice as well, like that.
CL genuinely with brunette, like when she has brown hair, like whoever plays Daenerys, Emilia Clarke.
Emilia Clarke,
When she has brown hair, if you gave her some like prosthetic aging makeup, I think
Maybe.
she could do a good CL.
maybe.
And then I can live out my John Daenerys fan fiction.
I
They,
was,
they have sex in the game, CL and Verso.
Yeah,
They,
you
they
can
have
choose
sex.
for them to have sex.
I should have made a mandatory.
I was there's a actor on my mind who I was gonna say to play CL, but it's gone. It doesn't matter.
But yeah, no, I like look if they made that movie.
The mum from Spy Kids when she was younger looks a lot like CL.
Yeah,
But I don't know. I don't think she'd be too old now. She's aged really. Isn't she married to Mike Flanagan?
I don't know.
Or am I thinking of someone else?
I'm not sure. But you know, if they made the movie, well, it's being what I read is that the production company is the same ones who make the Sonic movies. So obviously high production value at least. I think it could be good because it's got an amazing story.
Literally, they just have to take the story and they can obviously
Streamline it a
change
little bit.
some things up.
Yeah.
Like if they want to try and make the whole family relations between Mael and them more subtle, or less subtle, even though it's not subtle. It's
Go
not
to
trying to
Lost
be
City.
subtle.
Listen, that's the thing. It's in your face the whole time. It's just you're piecing it together until they
Yeah.
basically just tell you everything.
It's really
You know?
good. Maybe they just one for one just adapt.
I honestly in the movie I would want them to be doing the Act 1, Act 2, Act 3 cuts because those are perfect. Especially the Mael one.
Or just a trilogy where each movie is an act, but then Act 3 can be long enough.
Nah, I don't think so because
TV show,
it's one long expedition. Yeah, they could do a TV show.
3 seasons.
Yeah, but I do think this game could work as a movie. It's
As
just
one
short
movie.
enough. It's just short
But a
enough.
long movie, like a 3-hour movie.
Yeah, 3
You have
hours.
to be a bit long
Mm.
because you have to do your setup, Yeah, it could work as one.
Yeah, and then you fucking yeah.
Actually, I think as one would work better now that I think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But-
and directed by Christopher Nolan.
Yeah, directed by Christopher Nolan.
Just Interstellar again. No, who else would do a good job with this kind of... Right, the guy who did Sinners, Ryan Coogler, that's his
Ryan
name, right?
Coogler.
He liked playing with aspect ratio a lot with Sinners, so he could have fun with Clair Obscur.
True. Maybe like Guillermo del Toro.
Oh,
Guillermo?
Yeah. No, this
He
is
would
his
do a
vibe
really good one,
lot.
yeah.
That's a good pick.
Yeah.
I like that. All right. Do we wrap up?
I think there's nothing else.
Anything else we need to touch? How to Train Your Dragon next week?
Next week. Yeah.
Well, that's wrapping up. All right, we'll wrap up.
Alright.
Alrighty, guys. Thank you. No.
Fucking-
Can I stop it?
Oh, he speaks.
You're not allowed to
You're
talk.
not allowed to talk.
Oh my.
Get back in the cage.
You guys didn't hear that.
Yeah,
We're
you
not. No. We have to do our outro.
Yeah, we're doing that.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for this guy's just fucking got his cock out. What
Yeah,
the hell?
guys.
Put it
and
away.
it's really small too. Like
That's so
it's
small.
tiny.
She started looking.
She started looking.
All right. Thank you guys for watching or listening. We appreciate it big time.
Yep.
Especially if you haven't played the game and you're just listening
Yeah.
because you like us. That's great. We love that.
That is great.
Um,
Play the game if you have the means.
we
It's really
are
good.
going to watch How to Train Your
Dragon
Dragon
tomorrow.
tomorrow night. That'll be our episode for next week.
Mhm.
Check us out on Instagram and TikTok. Here's the thing.etp.
Mhm.
It'll be in the description of this video. Spotify might be ready, might not be. Depends if I want to get off my ass and do it. I'm joking. I've been really busy. But second I get a day off and I get some time, I'll get our Spotify up and running. I promise. Like, comment, subscribe. DM us if there's something that you think we could do better. Let us know. And
Exactly.
We'll probably
take it
disagree
on
because
to
we're
board.
perfect.
We are perfect beings.
We're perfect.
We are the painters of this world.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you guys for listening. We will see you
Next time.
next time.
Adios.
Adios.